And then there were 2 out of 16 teams who made the NBA playoffs. We are down to the final 2. My name is Sly Moya. Welcome to the NBA playoffs review on the Pro Show. Charlie, Teddy, KK, and Felix, we are there. We can do the X's and O's for the finals and who the pundits think will take the victory. So 16 teams made the playoffs. We are down to 2. The resilient Miami Heat had to go through a lot. They are the surprise team in the NBA finals, had to go through the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, had to go through the number 2 seed, the Boston Celtics, who they just eliminated in 7 games. Now for the Denver Nuggets, they were the number 1 seed, but people doubted Jokic's prowess, his greatness, and he's done it again. He's now in the NBA finals for the first time. So the Miami Heat are trying to do it, are trying to make history, being the first ever number 8 seed to ever win an NBA finals, and for Jokic deliver the Denver Nuggets their first ever NBA championship. KK, I'll start with you. How do you think the game is going to go? Where do you think it's going to be won and lost?
So now let's give a backstory of this. Now Jokic is on a mission. Why do I say he's on a mission? Now, guys, you remember the All-Star game? What happened?
He was picked like last year.
Now, two-time reigning MVP,
picked last in the All-Star draft.
Last but one. Before Lauri Markkanen. And even if he got up himself and went to LeBron and was like, oh, Charlie, bro,
where do you find me?
So you look at the game and then you look at yourself and you ask these questions. Why was Jokic picked last? Was it that people don't trust him like the NBA players themselves? Because they were the ones that were making the choices, right? They didn't trust him or what? Or they didn't believe he was actually
was Giannis and LeBron making the selection.
And they picked him last but one. That is the 2-time reigning MVP. So when he actually sat down and they asked him, like media conversation, they were asking him question, he said he doesn't even believe that he's a player for All-Star game and for that thing. So he's on a mission. And if you ask me right now that his Batman and Robin, his Robin being
Jamal
Murray is out there and he's cooking LeBron and the likes. Charlie, they are on a mission, and I don't see any way on earth Miami will beat them. Now let me add something to it. I'm someone who does a lot of, dare, truth or dare, that kind of thing. I'm daring anyone. If Miami beats them, next time I come on this show, I'll come bare-chested.
That'd be hard. Now, for the Heat versus the Nuggets, for the past 5 seasons, they faced each other a lot of times. The Nuggets are 9-1 against the Heat. The last time the Heat beat them was in 2020, where they made the finals in the bubble. Felix, do the Heat stand a chance against the Nuggets?
No, they don't. I mean, the whole game is going to be played through Jokic. And Jokic is 10-2 against Adebayo. And the zone defense that the Miami are going to play is not going to be effective against the Nuggets. Because, nobody can play through Jokic's passing.
And for zone defenses, if you have a center who can pass the ball really well, it can really hit that.
So I don't think it's possible at all. And again, we all know, like he said, what Jamal Murray can do. He can make plays, and the Nuggets have a lot in their bag. Like they have just so much in their bag. And Miami Heat can outscore the Nuggets. Even if they want to play good defense, no matter what they want to do, they can outscore the Nuggets. The Nuggets can go for a 2-man play. They can go for Jamal Murray to play. They can play pick and roll. They have just
a lot of plays.
It's just so much. I don't see the Miami Heat.
Now when we say the Nuggets are the best offensive team in the NBA, we are not exaggerating. Now take a lesson of this. In the regular season, per 100 possessions, the Nuggets offensive rating is 116.8. In the first round, it elevated to 117.2. That's in the playoffs. In the second round, another step, 120. In the conference finals, 122. That just tells you how great this Miami offense is. Does the Heat defense stand a chance against the Denver Nuggets?
Honestly, you cannot write off the Miami. Even the Nuggets have the advantage, but then with the Heat being the underdogs since this playoff started, I think they are on fire. They're on a mission, and they are not going to go down easily. Even if Nuggets put up a fight. You see, when the Lakers were playing, we put pressure on AD to be scoring more, but then AD was fluctuating. He plays well today, the next day he doesn't play well. I'm going to put the same pressure on Bam. Jokic is not good on defense, and if you are going to take the pressure off your shooters and from
Butler and Martin, Vincent,
if you are going to take pressure off of them, you have to be able to deliver when we give you the ball. Because obviously, Jokic is not good. Like I said, you have to be able to score on him. And if he comes onto the offense and he scores, there's no problem because he's good on the offense. There's no problem. But you have to score. He has to score.
So you think if there's any way Miami is going to beat Denver, it has to go through Bam?
Yes, because the Miami shooters, they are not really prolific shooters. So if they are flopping, they are shooting and they are not making. Now when maybe Robinson gets the ball and he doubts himself, he's looking to Bam to pass. And when I give you the ball, I am expecting you as my second go-to player to deliver for me. And looking at Bam performance in the Celtic game 7 or in the series, he hasn't been very good. And if he's taking this kind of performance to go and meet a player like Jokic, I think he's done. Because when Jokic is on the defense, Aaron Gordon is also helping. So he has to find a way. And
that matchup is very, very interesting.
Yes.
Aaron Gordon versus Jimmy Butler.
The Miami Heat are in a conundrum in the sense that, are you going to drop Caleb Martin and play Love? Because with size wise, they are not up to par with the Nuggets. So are you going to drop Caleb Martin, who has been very phenomenal, who should have been the MVP, or you are going to play Kevin Love? This is something I think Spoelstra has to really think about and make. Because if you bring in Love, you are in a way matching the height difference. But when you play a player like Martin, you are in an advantage because Martin has not been known for his defense. So who is he guarding? Because if you put him on a player like maybe KCP is a bully. KCP is a bully. Porter is also tall. He's also a bully. It's not working. So I think he has to make a decision with something like that.
Speaking of points to prove, there are two players with probably the most points to prove. Jimmy Butler, who is entering into his second NBA Finals. A lot of people have doubted him. Could he be the number one option on the team? Remember him being on the Sixers where he was traded and that video that trended. Tobias Harris over me. Charlie, Jimmy Butler is in the finals now for the second time. He'll be hoping to lift the trophy this time around. And for another player who has been doubted, we've said this on the show, Jamal Murray. He feels like he's not considered as one of the best guards in the league. Now, with the way things are going, do the Miami Heat have a way to defend Jamal Murray? Because he seems unstoppable, because all the attention is going to go to Nikola Jokic and then Jamal Murray is going to be cooking. But we know the Heat can switch up everything because they always switch when they are playing defense. They can switch 1-2-5. Do you think they have a better chance against Jamal Murray?
I mean, the Heat, they've shown a lot of grit, a lot of togetherness, a lot of toughness. But I think the Lakers, when we compare these two teams to the Lakers, I mean, the Heat have way better defenders than the Lakers. You know, they have Caleb Martin, who is quite he's a good defender. You know, and
Max Strus is not bad himself.
Yeah, he's equally good too. But I don't think they have any answer for Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray has been very prolific in these playoffs on this run, and you know, like we already said, they have a lot to prove now. Like Nuggets, they've not won it, and they want to win it for the first time for the city of Denver. They have a lot to prove, and Miami can't. You know, they don't have enough options. You know, to go against the Nuggets at all.
Now, when the Nuggets and then the Heat faced this season, the Heat sometimes in the third quarter of their first game they met this season, they went into the Zodiverse, but Jokic kept cooking them. So it feels like, I don't know how Eric Spoelstra is going to do it, but he has to find a way. Do you believe in the experience of Eric Spoelstra?
If I am exposed right now, I'll have sleepless nights. And I'll be thinking of what I can do. Just something not to stop Murray and then Jokic, but at least to slow them down to a point where their impact on the game wouldn't be so detrimental to the Miami Heat team. Now, if I am the coach, this is what I'm thinking. Did you watch the Celtics series very well? Duncan Robinson and co, what were they doing? This guy, Al Horford and Williams were using the drop coverage. Now, if you're an NBA fan and you don't understand these terms, drop coverage is simply when there's a screen and a roll. But the center man that is supposed to guard the opposition center goes closer to the paint. The paint is the painted
the area
where it's like deep paint, right? So when he stays there, they allow the person guarding the opposition team to go over the big guy of that opposition team and then try to challenge. While the big man of, let's say, Team A and Team B. Team A is the offensive team, right? If Team A has a point guard and a center setting a pick or setting a screen for the point guard, now, the opposition team, which is Team B, their point guard has to go over the big guy of Team A so that he contests it, so that if there's a rebound or something, the center is in position of Team B to get a rebound. Now, that drop coverage, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, and Gabe Vincent, they feasted on it to a point where Al Horford and co, they were trying so many things, like blitzing them, but it wasn't working. Now, The same thing if I'm coach Spoelstra. I am hoping that when they switch Jokic on Gabe Vincent, that is just step back and a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
So they're also going to use the drop coverage. So that's the only thing that they can do. And immediately they do that and they try to switch, give it to Bam, and then Bam will find an open shooter or maybe try to finish. So that is what I am looking at. But in doing that, just like I was saying the other time, you drain Bam because he always has to be active in almost every play.
And even in the Celtics series, we saw Codizella's minutes
Diminishing.
And even in this series, you can't play Codizella because they will just bury him. They have too many offensive powers to fight them.
Now I feel like we've all spoken about how the Nuggets are going to win the game. For the Miami Heat, they've also got some offensive power of their own. If you take out Jimmy Butler and Bam, who are the obvious two stars, the Heat look like the more deeper team in the sense that Caleb Martin dropped 19 points per game in the Eastern Conference Finals. We've seen Max Strus also play well. Duncan Robinson, very, very good. And then Calori can also step in 1 or 2 times. But for the Denver Nuggets, we've also seen KCP play well, Michael Porter play well. Bruce Brown comes from the bench in a very, very good way. Do you think the role players can decide who actually wins the finals?
Oh yeah, very, very, very. The role players can decide so much. I'm so scared for the Miami players, their guards, in a sense that the Denver Nuggets rendered D'Angelo Russell and Shooter useless. So useless. It was so useless to the extent you were like, is this a G League player? Is Shooter a G League player? Because he couldn't guard him. There was nothing working. Nothing was working. And then the Miami Heat, their small guards are not good defenders. The only thing they can do is to just be prolific on their zone defense. And with the zone defense, there are so many questions. What if Jokic is bringing the ball? What if he passes to the dunking spots? What if he passes to open shooters? There are so many what ifs. If you double team him, he's passing. So like he said, Spoelstra has to. And Spoelstra is one of the most experienced coaches. This is not his first time meeting someone like this.
It's the finals.
Yes, so he will find a way. But then will the way be enough? Because everything is going well for the Nuggets right now because they are so confident in their players and even in their coach, because their coach has been talking. I think the Nuggets look like
Mike Malone.
Very, very good.
Can I add to what Teddy
of course, sure.
I said? So we all know that zone defense doesn't work against the Nuggets, not at all.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets have prolific shooters. You know, in Kevin Porter Jr. They have
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael
Bruce
Porter
Brown.
Jr. They have Bruce Brown.
Jeff Green can sometimes
Christian Brown.
He's quite good. And KCP is equally good.
Shooter.
And we spoke about defense. I think you equally spoke about defense. And on the defensive sense, ends too, the Nuggets have better defenders than the Heat. To be honest with you, I don't see any way the Heat are going to.
Now we've gotten there to the final part.
Can I chip in with something? It seems we are forgetting one important thing that also goes for the Nuggets. Now, Colorado, we all know the state of Colorado has the highest altitude.
The Lakers are complaining a bit.
So man, if you don't get there early to get acclimatized to the weather, you play just 30 minutes and you're like, just like medical. Oh, sorry.
We are forgetting Aaron Gordon.
Yeah,
we are forgetting
that matchup against Jimmy.
Aaron Gordon, because against the Lakers, he did all the dirty work.
Yeah,
he did everything. So we are forgetting one important.
He's already got a KD too.
Yeah. One important piece.
Aaron Gordon. I don't see him being impactful in this series.
Why do you say that?
If he's on Butler,
can I explain? Now, if he's on Butler, he's not very quick. Look at Butler.
Butler is equally not quick.
Butler is someone, he's like Doncic. You don't speed him up. He goes his own pace and you have to follow.
Yep.
Now, this guy is very slow. So now, if you are guarding Butler and let's say Butler calls for a screen with Jokic, whoever Jokic is guarding. Now, you'd have to switch Jokic on Butler by force. And if you do that, who is Aaron Gordon going to guard? Is it Gabe Vincent? He'll cook him. Because he's too slow for Gabe Vincent. Is it Caleb Martin?
But the thing is, Gordon is very athletic. Very athletic.
The Gordon in Orlando Magic.
He's got Kevin Durant this year.
His role has changed. That's why.
LeBron James is a 38-year-old man who had an ankle injury.
I mean, he switched on AD a few times.
Yeah.
But he switched on AD. Slow. It's a
We are forgetting that he's guarded Durant.
Yes, he got Durant.
Listen,
No.
Durant and Co, they didn't have enough, so we're blitzing Durant. Guys, let's just watch the game.
No.
Okay, maybe I'm the only one right now. But in comment section, tell me if anyone is in the comment section. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Aaron Gordon is very slow as a defender. I don't know why you guys
Charlie,
agree with
we've
me.
gotten to the
But it's
final
okay.
part of the show where we are going to be listening to the predictions. I think we all know from the way they've argued where they'll be pointing their directions to. But Teddy, who is going to win and in how many games?
I'm tipping the Nuggets to win, but then with the kind of fire the Miami Heat have, them being underdogs, them being swept under the carpet, even when they are winning, I think this game is going to be an amazing game, going to a game 6.
You think the Heat can
Miami
win
are going to drive the game to a game 6, and even though I'm tipping the Nuggets to win, then Miami Heat can win.
KK, who would you have winning and in how many games?
I've already said that I'll come Barchester to this show. If Nuggets fail to win. Now, we all know barring injuries. We know that injuries can be
always
a
affect
factor. So, barring injuries, if every time
right now
they meet and everybody is playing at his optimum best, there is no way Miami will beat Denver.
Interesting. So how many games? How many games do you have the Denver Nuggets?
Now, I do not want to disrespect Jimmy Butler and what he can do, so I'll give them 6 games.
So you feel like the Heat can win 2 games? Okay,
the Heat
same
will
thing
win
with
2
Teddy.
games. Yeah.
Felix, how many games?
I'm going with the number 1 seed in the West. I'm going with the Denver Nuggets. I think they're going to end this probably in 6 games.
Interesting.
Just to give the Miami Heat the respect they need. Just in 6 games.
Let's also not forget the fact. Now, this might be a little bit over the bar, but look at the NBA. It's a franchise that is there to make money. Now, you almost got a sweep in 2 semifinals where it was only Celtics that were able to come back from
3-0
but they swept the Lakers, and the Lakers is one of the biggest franchises, not just in basketball but the entire world. And they were just in 4 games. So the NBA will make sure with their referees and all that this game goes to game
6.
So
it goes at least 6 or 7
So you're
games.
saying that the games will be rigged?
I'm not saying it will be rigged, but I'm telling you, I have watched NBA for so long a time. I watched in 2002, as far back as in 2002, when Sacramento Kings were cooking the Lakers. What happened in those games?
Bro.
In so many occasions.
Charlie,
if the NBA games don't go 6 or 7.
What you're talking about is politics.
Yeah.
Politics.
That's the politics part
It
of
is politics,
NBA.
but it could be true.
Charlie, we've heard all of them. Now, for myself, I feel like people are sleeping on the Heat too much. This year, they've slept on the Heat throughout the whole time. In fact, when they were in the playing game, they faced the Atlanta Hawks, they were beaten, and then they went to face the Bulls. And a lot of people even had the Bulls winning. The Heat proved them wrong. They were up against Giannis. Who knew they beat them? They were up against Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, who people felt like were the best team in the playoffs. So I've got my money on the Heat, but the games are going to 7. In the NBA Finals, I trust in Jimmy Butler. Let's see what he'll do. Kindly leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this finals preview. Bring on the finals. We are ready. The pro team is ready. We'll bring you all the analysis as and when we can. Stay safe out there. There's more to come from us.